what I would say is things will change. Because I think sometimes circumstantially you just think, there's just nothing that I can look at in this circumstances and be grateful for, or I mean, you're just at a place where like this could not get more miserable. And the fact is, everything changes and eventually things will change. So maybe that means you need to stick in there a little bit longer. Maybe that means you have to endure this particular season of life where it feels like, I just can't keep going on. Like, this is so challenging. When is this ever going to end? It is going to end.
Stay connected to gratitude. Hit the follow button right now and join thousands of listeners tuning in each week. We're the Gratitude Seekers. Come join us. Hi, Gratitude Seeker. Welcome to a new episode of the Gratitude Podcast. Today with us, we have an award-winning filmmaker, novelist, and game creator based in LA. His debut novel, Hooked, was described as entertaining, well-paced, and highly visual by Kirkus Reviews. He wrote, directed, and produced the movie adaptation of Hooked that will be released in 2021. He is also a creator of board games, and he won 38 awards, and he's also a speaker. And now he is our guest, and we will be talking about some very interesting topics with him that are really relevant nowadays. His name is Alan Wolf, and I'm very excited to have him as a guest on the Gratitude Podcast. Welcome, Alan.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So let us know a little bit more about you, some of the things that I failed to mention that you think are interesting or relevant for our discussion.
Well, it's funny that you mention about the games that I've created, that I'm a game creator, and I was thinking about gratitude and my games, and the first game I created, You're Pulling My Leg, I created actually out of gratitude for two good friends of mine. I created the original version of the game as a Christmas gift for them to help them get to know each other better, and they loved it. They played it, and then they and other friends suggested to turn it into a real game. So I did, and now You're Pulling My Leg is played by hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. But just thinking about how I was just very grateful for the friendship of my good friend Rob, who was dating someone named Summer at the time. Now they're married, they have kids, but it's just interesting for me to think about how that whole journey started by just being really grateful for that friendship.
Wow, this is wonderful. I love how you got into the topic directly, and it's wow. It's very inspiring because, to be honest, it's a really unique take on gratitude, and it's beautiful for me that I get surprised by this and by different takes on gratitude, even though I've talked with many people about the topic, and I honestly I didn't even think that you could through gratitude you could actually birth a project like this, and because you appreciate the people in your life, you realize you can offer them something that is of value to them, and through their support you can create something that helps many other people. That's really beautiful.
Thank you. It's funny. It didn't even strike me until we started a conversation that just how much gratitude is really at the heart of this journey that I've been on. And it's interesting when you say about all the stories that you've created, that you've listened to, and the gratitude that you've heard, because it is a storytelling game. Part of it is that you ask all kinds of different questions of people, and I must say that the journey of playing the game and experiencing it with all kinds of different people, for me too, has helped me to just be more grateful for people's life experiences and for what they've been through. And that's given me a different perspective on my own life and challenges, and has allowed me to just be able to see things through other people's eyes too.
Yeah, most definitely. And I believe that we all have an interesting story to tell, and there are very touching parts of the stories that people experience. And yeah, I think it's very fascinating to actually find out these kinds of stories, but we can't actually get to them if we're not answer if we're not asking the right questions,
Mm,
isn't it?
very true. Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting because when you talk about asking the right questions, I found that, I mean, that really unlocks people's life stories, their experiences, their perspectives, asking the right questions, and then listening and being able to just enter into the experience they've had and being able to walk alongside them. I think that is what gives us just such a valuable just insight and appreciation of who other people are.
Yeah, I think it's a really wonderful way of appreciating other people, and um, yeah, being empathetic of their experience and their journey, and who and what they are in the present moment. I think it's a beautiful part of being human. But I also wanted to get to something else. I'm really curious on your definition of gratitude. Like, how do you define gratitude? What is gratitude for you?
To me, gratitude is a thankfulness that goes beyond what I can see at the moment. Like, I think true gratitude for me uh, is having being able to look at life circumstances, at people, um, with a gratitude of, you know what, I'm not seeing all the details now. I'm not seeing the complete picture. Uh, and if I could, maybe that would even change my perspective of how thankful I am for this person, this moment, these circumstances. So for me, that's part of gratitude, is just to be thankful, knowing that I'm also not seeing the complete circumstances. And if I did, maybe that would help me to even be even more so.
Hmm, that's beautiful. It's like Steve Jobs said it. We can connect the dots uh, only by looking back, usually,
Mm,
and it's harder for us to make sense of things in the moment when they are happening, but they might make sense. They might make a lot of sense, actually, um, as long as we see the whole picture, the whole perspective.
mm,
That's really beautiful.
mm.
So, how did this name come about, and what's the story behind it?
Behind what name?
And you're pulling my leg.
Oh, well, it is a saying that means that you must be kidding me, basically. So It
Okay.
means because I'm imagining that every culture has a similar type of saying. So
Mm-hmm.
in English, that's a saying that means, oh, you must be kidding me. You're pulling my leg. You're not telling me a true story. That's where that title comes from.
Very nice.
Do you have a similar saying where you
Yeah,
are? Oh, and
yeah. I
what's
was
the
actually
saying?
thinking the translation uh, is something like "you must be crazy," or
Ah,
actually, it's even better. Uh,
yeah.
it's don't make me crazy, something like this.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's funny because the game has been translated into German, and the the German title is it's not you're pulling like, but it's something also very similar that is along this same lines. You must be kidding. I think I mean, that's not the exact translation, but in
Yeah.
German, it falls more along the lines of "you must be kidding."
That's wonderful. Yeah.
And the reason why that title is because as you play the game is contained in a book, and you choose a question you want to answer, then you flip a coin, and if it lands on heads, you tell a true story, tails, you make up a story, you share the story, and then the people you're playing with, then they vote points on whether they think you're telling a true story or you're pulling their leg. So that's kind of where where that saying is incorporated into the game.
Beautiful, beautiful. And one thing that I love in general about board games is that it actually um, connects you with other people, and especially when it comes to board games where you need to interact in this way, like to really talk and really say things that have meaning or that are at least fun.
Right.
Um, I think this is very much related to gratitude. Like in my experience, it's much more fulfilling when you are with other people to not be on your phone, not watch TV or do other things that actually make you absent. But this makes you be there and be present, and I think it's a very important part of uh, finding and creating moments for which to be grateful. Americans spend an average of 90% of their time indoors and take about 20,000 breaths a day. According to the EPA, indoor air is 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air, and in some cases up to 100 times more polluted. Data shows that air pollution is responsible for nearly 7 million premature deaths globally. We are fortunate enough to live outside the city with easy access to it and a green meadow view outside the window. The not so fortunate part is that when we open the windows, we can hear all the constant traffic close to us, and the air quality isn't the best. Aside from that, our neighbors have a passion for using all kinds of fossil fuel motors to build or cut grass. I love doing breath work. I'm sure you do too. And it's in those moments when you breathe deeply that you become aware of the quality of the air you breathe and how important it actually is. So what's the solution? Introducing an air purifier that captured the attention of established media outlets such as CNN, Money, ABC, and more. Air Doctor. Air Doctor filters out 99.99% of dangerous contaminants and allergens such as pollen, pet dander, dust mite, mold, and even bacteria and viruses, so your lungs don't have to. All Air Doctor purifiers also feature whisper jet fans, 30% quieter than ordinary air purifiers. Air Doctor also comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't love it, just send it back for a refund minus shipping. Head to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code GRATITUDE, and depending on the model, you'll receive up to 39% off or up to $300 off. Exclusive to podcast customers, you will also receive a free 3-year warranty on any unit, which is an additional $84 value. Love this special offer by going to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code gratitude.
Hmm. Well, it's interesting you said that because I mean, it's we call You're Pulling My Leg the ultimate storytelling game, but all the stories are about you. They're about your life experience. And I know recently I was playing it with someone who I've known for maybe, over a year, like maybe a year and a half, and the story talked about something that dramatic the question that he answered was something dramatic that happened when they were a child. And so he started telling a story about how he came from overseas. He was an orphan. He was put into an orphanage. He was, without, he didn't know where his parents were, and then he was adopted, and that's how he came into the US. And then it was, okay, is this a true story or is he pulling your leg? And I thought, wow, I've never ever heard this before. He must be pulling my leg. And so I voted, 3 points on him telling a false story. But then he said, no, that's actually true. And I thought, wow, I mean, here's someone I've known for over a year, and I had no idea that this is how he started his life. It helped me to have just a much deeper appreciation of him and his experiences. So I love that about the game, is that it really does unlock people's stories and histories, and it just helps you to have that much more appreciation for who they are and their life experiences and who they've become.
Yeah, it was very interesting for me. For instance, the fact that I was always curious about uh, my parents and my grandma's childhood, for instance, and it was very interesting for me to find out that my girlfriend, for instance, didn't know much about her parents' childhood. It was also on my own way of getting to know myself better, but also being able to know where my parents come from,
Hmm.
like emotionally and from a relationship standpoint. It was very interesting for me, and yeah, I think this is creating a space in which you can share these kinds of things in a more safe space, let's say, because otherwise it might be awkward. Like I know many people aren't able to speak, to talk about these kinds of things generally. Like they just and many relationships are like this,
Hmm.
unfortunately,
Hmm.
just at the surface level somehow, and they
Hmm.
don't let other people get to know them better.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes it can be difficult to know what to ask to help to get to know someone better. And that's what I've appreciated about you pulling my leg, is that it allows you to ask someone questions that normally might take a long time to feel like you're at the point where you can ask them that question, or gives you questions that because there are over 600 questions, it gives you questions that you wouldn't think to ask someone. And so I found that after playing it with someone, I always come away feeling like, wow, I know that person much more than I did. I've discovered things about them, and I have a much clearer picture, a much more painted in picture of their personality and their life experiences, and appreciate them that much more.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And yeah, I think this is one of the most important things when it comes to human relations, like to actually be able to connect and to be real and to be vulnerable. Actually, like when we're able to be more vulnerable with other people, we get to connect on a deeper level. If we're not able to do that much, it's it's harder for us to experience more gratitude when it comes to that relationship. It's harder for us to receive more if we're not able to be more vulnerable. This has been at least my experience.
Oh, I completely agree. And so much of life and experience says tells us not to be vulnerable, tells us to put up
Yeah.
facades, tell us to tell everyone that we're super successful and everything is great all the time. But you just scratch beneath the surface, and you find out, okay, like life is more complex than that. Like not everything is fantastic all the time with everyone. And it's when we get to those places of deeper connection that we can experience that kind of intimacy that you're talking about, and just talk and connect with people on a more real, authentic level.
Yeah, I think it's a very important part of us as humans, and as of what the way in which we actually connect. And yeah, I think what you're doing is wonderful, helping people do that, directly and indirectly, I think.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm always encouraged by hearing stories from people who've used you're pulling my leg with their families or their spouses or their kids, and they just tell me that they've just discovered things that they never knew about. Even people who've been married for decades and decades and think, oh, I know everything about this person. They'll play it and realize, oh, okay, there's just there are all kinds of things that I just never knew about before. So it's just a lifelong journey of, I mean, the people in our lives, just creating those deep friendships and those connections. It is something that takes time. And I like what you said about, you're right, the temptation is that we really can get buried in our phones and in electronic media and be entertained all the time, but then forget to get to know the people who are just right next to us, who we're sharing lives with, who we're sharing meals with. And those are the people that are going to endure long past whenever, we're finished watching a particular show, or our phones are broken. I mean, it's those relationships that are ultimately going to endure.
Yeah, and this is this is the thing with gratitude. When we think about gratitude, we are grateful for some of the things that we have in our life, like the place we live, or other things that make our life good. But mostly we think about people and the relationships that we have, and the experiences that we share. And that's why I think it's a great part of who we are as humans, and of actually being able to create experiences that make us feel grateful.
Yeah, I agree.
So I also wanted to get to something else. If you were to tell a younger person a message about gratitude, what would that be?
If I would talk to a younger person about gratitude, I think what I would say is things will change. Because I think sometimes circumstantially you just think, there's just nothing that I can look at in this circumstances and be grateful for. Or I mean, you're just at a place where like, this could not get more miserable. And the fact is, everything changes and eventually things will change. So maybe that means you need to stick in there a little bit longer. Maybe that means you have to endure this particular season of life where it feels like, I just can't keep going on. Like, this is so challenging. When is this ever going to end? It is going to end. Like, things will change. And I think even going back, talking to my younger self at different points in my life, just knowing that, I think would give me more strength to keep enduring and keep moving forward.
Americans spend an average of 90% of their time indoors and take about 20,000 breaths a day. According to the EPA, indoor air is 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air, and in some cases up to 100 times more polluted. Data shows that air pollution is responsible for nearly 7 million premature deaths globally. We are fortunate enough to live outside the city with easy access to it and a green meadow view outside the window. The not so fortunate part is that when we open the windows, we can hear all the constant traffic close to us, and the air quality isn't the best. Aside from that, our neighbors have a passion for using all kinds of fossil fuel motors to build or cut grass. I love doing breath work. I'm sure you do too. And it's in those moments when you breathe deeply that you become aware of the quality of the air you breathe and how important it actually is. So, what's the solution? Introducing an air purifier that captured the attention of established media outlets such as CNN, Money, ABC, and more. Air Doctor. Air Doctor filters out 99.99% of dangerous contaminants and allergens such as pollen, pet dander, dust mite, mold, and even bacteria and viruses, so your lungs don't have to. All Air Doctor purifiers also feature whisper jet fans, 30% quieter than ordinary air purifiers. Air Doctor also comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't love it, just send it back for a refund minus shipping. Head to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code GRATITUDE, and depending on the model, you'll receive up to 39% off or up to $300 off. Exclusive to podcast customers, you will also receive a free 3-year warranty on any unit, which is an additional $84 value. Lock the special offer by going to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code GRATITUDE. Beautiful. It's such a powerful message, and I'm sure that many of our listeners that might be going through something right now got a bit of perspective and of hope. The fact that even if they are going through something right now, it's going to change, and it's so true. Like the only constant is in life is change, and we can bet on that. Whether it's perfect right now, it's very probable that it will change, and it might be a little bit imperfect. If it's very much imperfect, our life, it's very probable that it will change and it will get better. So yeah, I think it's a very important idea that you just shared with us. And I'm curious if you have some habits that keep you grateful, that are helping you be in a more grateful mood.
Absolutely. For me, starting off the day praying and journaling really helps me tremendously. I mean, one, praying, realizing it's not about me, it's beyond me, that there's a God that loves me and cares for me. I mean, that just really helps to reset the way that I'm approaching the day and looking at the day. And then as I journal and look backwards and look forward and just write about what's happening in life and what my perspective of that is. Are there things looking into those circumstances that I can be thankful for? That also helps to keep me aligned in a good direction.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Like the first things that we do in the morning can really influence the rest of the day. And yeah, the fact that it's not all about us, that's a really powerful thought, and that's a beautiful way of getting out of our own way, because we sometimes do that because we think it's all about us. And yeah, when we think about the whole picture, it's something really different. And yeah, like we would see things from where we are, or from the top of a mountain. It's a whole different picture, and problems look very different when we have another perspective.
Very much so. I mean, we have my wife and I have two kids who are 5 years old and 7 years old. And there are times where they want to do something that will hurt them. Like it will not be good for them. They want to do something that's slightly dangerous. They don't realize it's dangerous. You know, they want to balance themselves on top of something that's very tall and will lead to their death if they fall. You know what I mean? They just don't have
Mm,
that perspective. But as their parents, we can say, okay, that's not a good choice. Let's get down from that. Let's do this. Let's not, make sure you don't eat that. Don't touch the stove. It's really hot right now. But for them, they just think, oh, well, that's the thing I want to do right now. It must be the most important thing. But they don't have the perspective that we do. And I just think similarly in life, when things are not working out the way that I want them to, or I really want this, or I really want that, and it's not happening, it's like, okay, I don't have the perspective. I don't have God's perspective on what's going to
mm,
ultimately be hurtful for me, what's ultimately going to be good for me. And so in those circumstances, I do have to just trust that there's something beyond me that's giving, has a perspective that I don't have.
exactly. I love this. I love this. And it's very hard when you are goal oriented, when you are very determined to make things happen and um, do things for yourself or for your family. But indeed, it's always great to be flexible. Otherwise, um, it's really hard. Like we can really drain ourselves by just focusing on the things that aren't working as we would love them to work, or happening at the rate of um, at which we would love for them to work. Because yeah, it's a bigger game. It's something that's we are part of something. It's not just us
Mm.
uh, being alone in this existence. And like we've talked in the beginning, the fact that we are interconnected is the beauty of this experience. And yeah, I think it's very nice that you got to share this with us. And um, since we're nearing the end of our time together, I wanted to ask you if you have an idea, something that you would love to share with our audience.
Well, I think for me, thinking about being grateful, having that perspective in our lives, I think it starts with looking around at who we're sharing life with. And maybe that is our family, maybe we have kids, it's our kids, and maybe it's the people that we work with. And I think that it's so easy to look at people as the stepping stones to where you want to go or where you feel like you need to go, but instead looking at them and the value that they have in and of themselves and caring for them in that way, I think just makes all the difference. And I think that because we're all the people that surround us the closest, we spend so much life with them, they're they're the easiest types of people to take for granted and think, okay, like tomorrow morning they're going to still be there and
Mhm.
I'll be able to keep moving on. But realizing, no, this is every day, the time with them is precious. It's a gift. It's something to cherish, and having that kind of perspective, I think, can make all the difference, can help you to look at each day and getting through that day in a very different way. That all these people, these circumstances are just little gifts that you've been given. So open them up, appreciate them, look at them differently. And I think that will give you a very different experience as you make it through each day.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. And let our audience know where they can find the game, where they can get in touch with you. And since we're airing this before Thanksgiving, I think it's a great idea for uh, s- spending time together at the Thanksgiving table.
Mm. That is my hope, that people will be able to utilize the game to be able to create connections with their friends, their family, especially in the current state of our world. This version is designed so people can play it over a video call, so they don't even need to be in person. I just wanted to create new ways for people to be able to just connect to each other with everything that's happening in our world today. So you can find the game. It's in the form of a book. You can find it wherever books are sold. So online, on Amazon, and whatever country people are listening this to, it's available there. They can go to morningstargames.com, which is my website for all the games I've created, to get more information about the game. And then for me personally, my website is alanwolf.com. My name is spelled Allen and then Wolf, WOLF. And I love connecting with people there through my website, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, however people want to reach out. I love to meet people, love to hear their stories. So yeah, so feel free to reach out. And again, morningstargames.com or alanwolf.com are the two websites.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for everything that you shared today with us, and for the joy and for the laughter that we shared.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
Hey, Gratitude Seeker, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this interview. I really appreciate it. And if you could think of one person that would also benefit from it, share it with them. It might actually be the inspiration that they need to make their day, or maybe even their life, much better. Thank you so much once again. This has been Georgian Benta. Don't forget to keep seeking and spreading gratitude.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.